I need a second after chapter 35. Oh, man. So the voice came from Lucius Malfoy, and he and I think 10 Death Eaters popped down from out of nowhere, and they were pretty much all standing in front of them. So Harry was holding the orb, and Lucius said, "Give it to him. Give me the prophecy." His first word that he used prophecy. Harry did not know what that meant, but it just talked about Harry just kept asking, "Where's Sirius? Where's Sirius?" Bellatrix was mimicking him, saying, "Where's Sirius? Where's Sirius?" Um, and then Lucius like, give me the prophecy, or we'll start using wands." That moment, Harry's like, "All right, try it." And he raised his wand. Everyone behind him was on the same action. They raised their wands as well, and there was just standoff right there. And then Lucius tried to bring the prophecy to him, saying Accio, but then Harry blocked it with Protego. And he's like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay." He's like, "Okay, Potter's on time. Potter's on time. Okay." And then while Lucius was talking and explaining, basically monologuing, Harry let him talk, listened, and kept answering him. But then at the same time, he reached back to whoever was behind him, tapped their foot, said, "Hermione, um, break the." Because at the same time, they broke one of this prophecies on the side shelf. So he says, "Hermione, break the shelves." And so then, as the message was getting brought through everybody else, Harry was letting Malfoy talk. And then at the same time, when it came to it, he's like, "Okay, Harry, give it to me now." And he said, "Now." So then they destroyed the shelves and they just ran. They bolted straight forward and ran past the Death Eaters. Some of them tried to grab Harry and they were getting flung off. Hermione was there backing him up. And they just ran to the door, closest door they could. Now the group got separated a little bit. And so it was just Harry, Hermione, and Neville in one room. And they closed the door. And then Ginny, Ron, and Luna got separated and they went a different direction. So then two Death Eaters came after Harry and Hermione and Neville. So they kind of fought them off. This whole chapter was a bunch of fighting. It was a good chapter. They were just fighting back and forth. Harry obviously showing his skills, but Hermione and Neville were kind of keeping up a little bit. Neville did accidentally knock Harry's wand out of his hand, but they were able to clear that situation. And Hermione hit one of the Death Eaters with a spell. Stupefy made his head like a baby head and shrunk down and then grew back up, but then shrunk down again. Pretty good description of how it was in the book. And so they kept going, went to another room, and at this point, they were battling back and forth. They ended up in I want to say the room with the brains. Was it that room? But Hermione got knocked out cold. She got hit with a spell they have not seen before. She got knocked out cold. So then Harry went to go help her. Neville was fighting another guy. He got his wand broken and his face kicked. He basically, I think, broke his nose. And so it was just Harry, and he was able to subdue one guy. Eventually got the other guy, but Harry took some damage too. Probably had a concussion by the way it was described. And they were able to get out the room. Ran into Ron, Luna, and Ginny. Ginny was very injured. I think she broke her ankle or really sprained her ankle. Ron had been hit with a spell that made him like kind of delirious, and he was giggling a lot. Luna seemed to be uninjured, so it looks like she was the one doing a lot of the battling. And then they were running. They were in the room of brains. Ron being giggly and everything. He said Accio brain, brought the brains to him, and they were kind of surrounded at that point, except one door. So Luna had gotten knocked out. Sorry if I'm explaining this badly, but trying to keep everything together because there's a lot going on in this chapter. They were in another room, and before they had closed all the doors, at this point, it was just Harry and Neville that were the only ones that were kind of useful. Neville was using Hermione's wand and wasn't really working for him because he kept saying stupefy wrong. And so it was basically just Harry. Luna got knocked out by the last door being blown open, and all the Death Eaters kind of broke in, and then Harry ran off on his own, hoping Neville would stay back and help because they really just wanted Harry, and Harry knew that, so they all ran after him. He was running, he fell, and like the floor was gone from under him, and he fell straight down into the room with the veil. Excuse me, with the veil, and this veil, the same one that caused attention before. It was a big, like, wide open room with the veil in the middle, and he just backed up all the way to it. And then he found himself surrounded again. And at that point, when he felt like he was about to get captured or whatever, Neville popped in the room and didn't help at all. Bellatrix started, well, use Crucio on him, so she was hurting him. So she basically said, "We're gonna kill him if you don't give us this, or torture him." Basically, Bellatrix was just crazy this whole chapter. She was just itching to fight. And then at that point, it was Lupin, Sirius, Moody, Tonks, and then one more, Kingsley, I believe. They all jumped in, and then a bunch of fighting just started. Everyone was fighting at the same time, and Harry was trying to protect Neville as well. So everyone was fighting, basically one-on-one. Some people were, I think Lupin was fighting two of them, and so they were going through. Moody got knocked out. He was the first one that got taken out first. Then it was Tonks. She got taken out. Sirius took out a couple guys, and then he wanted to fight Bellatrix, who had taken out Tonks. And then when he kind of felt like all was lost, in comes Dumbledore out of nowhere. Dumbledore pops in, takes out a couple guys, and at that point, we're getting down to nitty gritty. Looks like they're about to win. And then Sirius looks like he's holding up Bellatrix, and then I feel like he let his guard down. It feels like it sounds like, I feel like he let his guard down. And then next thing you know, he got hit by a flash, and the way he described, he just kind of like floated up. Basically, it's just saying he just died. At this point, he's dead. And Harry was right there next to him at that moment, and realized didn't want to realize, or couldn't realize, that Sirius is gone, because he went through the veil but didn't come out the other side. And Lupin was holding him back, saying, "It's too late, Harry. He's gone. There's nothing you can do. Let's go."